the gods deceived me to come to America.
Oh, really?
And you jumped up and you hugged me exactly the way you did now. And it was so warm that I promise you that if you had held me 10 seconds longer, I would have started crying.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry I did that.
I was like, can you Bukky Wright? Exactly.
I was at an orientation when I first started, and I heard somebody saying it beside me. And I was just smiling to myself.
I hear Bunada, sir. They only called me for 2 interviews.
Okay.
The 2 interviews that they didn't give me.
Okay, now you are getting it. To tell you the very honest truth, if you are not a very strong person, abroad can be depressing. If you have a man or a woman by your side coming abroad, please hold him or her tightly. Was there a time I was depressed? Yes. That I was taking depression antidepressants.
Wow.
Yes.
Like clinical depression.
Yes. Up to now, I still suffer the blood pressure. And I was alone by myself. And I thought if I had been home, maybe somebody would be with me. Maybe I won't be by myself. What if you die in this house by yourself? I would cook and not eat. I went through a divorce. All that put together. If not for my children, they read the medication and were like, yeah, you have to stop this medication. Because I'm at the top at my job.
For me, you're a sign and a wonder, as it were.
Ojú mi ò rọ̀ tó bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn débi pé wọ́n lójú tó bá rọ̀ ní ro rẹ̀ máa so. A lot of people don't know Bukky Wright.
You're welcome to the show. Thank you for tuning in or clicking in, whichever one it is. Would also like to say thank you to our partners on the show. First of all is Lightforth. Lightforth is the app that makes looking for a job or transferring from one job to another just seamless. What you would spend so many hours doing, Lightforth does for you in just minutes. Constructs your resume, constructs your CV, and sends it to as many employers as possible. So will I say thank you, Lightforth. The link is in the description below. When we say description below, some of us don't really understand it. It's that when you look below this video and you look at the title, where it runs out of space, it will usually say more. If you click on the more, then you will see all of the other information. That's assuming you don't see it up front. So thank you, Lightforth. Would also like to say thank you to FinServe Pro. It's tax season in the United States, and as everybody knows, the fear of the IRS is the beginning of wisdom. FinServe Pro is the one-stop solution that just makes filing your taxes seamless at the most competitive price. You will not just believe how seamless, how easy, how fast, effective, and how, I don't want to use the word cheap, just how affordable FinServe Pro is. So thank you very much, FinServe Pro. All right, let's get into the show. Bukky Wright. I would just okay. So if I order to introduce you formally, I'd probably say something along the lines of how you're one of the most beautiful actresses, how you're one of the most accomplished. But I won't say any of that now. This one I will make more storied, and the way you're turned out will prove my point, will validate my point.
Okay.
So about 3 years ago, I was the lead comedian at a show in Houston.
Okay.
And when I came out on the stage, amongst this sea of black faces and some white faces, there was just this resplendent face I was seeing. But because the light were in my eyes, I couldn't really see the audience. I was just like, Talomo yi, married or not, So as soon as I came off the stage, I stuck the babe down. Turns out it was you. I mean, are you aware that you are? I wonder when you see beautiful women, does it get tiring for people to keep telling you how beautiful you are?
Well, it's just to validate that you're beautiful.
So it never gets tiring.
No.
Because I hear beautiful women say sometimes, I wish you would tell me something else about myself. So I'm talking about my beauty. That much is obvious.
Yeah, sometimes you want people to tell you something else, but it's just to validate that you're still beautiful.
Okay, does it ever stop the attention from men? Does it ever? Because I figure that, because I used to date somebody who was fair, and the Yoruba understanding of my people at least was that if you marry this kind of person, you will never rest. You know, you will. So does it ever stop? You know.
Well, you don't pray it stops. That means nobody stop or just turn shop near.
Oh boy, but you look good.
Thank you very much.
And we've been trying to do this for quite a while. In fact, I've been stalking you for a year.
I know. My apologies.
Why have you spent so much time in Nigeria?
Well, I went to produce The Return of Omotara Johnson.
Oh, that's the movie. How did that go?
It went very well. Of course, expensive, but yeah, it was okay.
Okay, and so, I mean, apparently you're not done because you're here for just a few days and then you're back. In fact, you came specifically for one thing.
Yes. I came to officiate a cake cutting of a birthday, a 50th birthday that I paid so much millions for.
Do you see, this thing is, I'm not just happy. Please come and be going. We'll finish this. Wait first. This thing you have just described, do you know that all my life as an MC is what I've been praying for that. That's my nirvana. That's my Mecca. That's my El Dorado. That I will get to a stage where people don't want Edgy Babyface to MC the event. They just want me to come and officiate the curtain and they will pay.
Well, you get there someday.
Don't worry. The young shall grow. You'll get there. And you're doing that cake cutting and then you're...
Yes, I'm back to Nigeria. Okay,
so where is... Because I was of the opinion when I first conceived this interview. In fact, it was some of the the comments on the YouTube page, the Instagram page. Look for Bukky Wright. Look for Bukky Wright. And so I started thinking to myself that if only I had known when I saw you in Houston a couple of years ago that I was going to do this show, I would have told you then. But I didn't. So I started to look for you, assuming that you were still in Houston. All of a sudden, you were in Nigeria for months and months and months, right? So what has changed? Is Nigeria now principally home?
Well, for my 9 to 5 is here. My acting is in Nigeria, so I have to juggle the two.
Let's talk that 9 to 5. Because that Houston day, you gave me a card.
Yeah.
First of all, you were so happy to see me, and I didn't tell you then. Again, I've mentioned it a few times on this show. They will hear it a few more times. Those years, I think that was 2022. The years that was COVID and the 2 years that followed it were my wilderness years.
Wow. I
had no idea where I was in life or what I was doing. I was literally King Sunny Ade. Right? So I just come off the stage doing that show and you saw me. And you jumped up and you hugged me exactly the way you did now. And it was so warm that I promise you that if you had held me 10 seconds longer, I would have started crying.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry I did that.
your arms, right? So, and then you handed me your card. And on it was written something along the lines of information security and all of that, right? Now, at that point, it didn't make a lot of sense to me.
Okay.
Until not too long ago, when somebody very close to me tried to get into information security.
Okay.
And I saw how difficult. I was like, can you Bukky Wright? This is what Bukky Wright did. Excuse me, please. How did you manage to get into such a difficult field?
Well, I'm a kind of person that would always challenge myself. And I remember when I was relocating, I told myself that I'm not going to do any menial job. I am going to go back to school and I am going to be at the top. And that's exactly what I did. Went back to school, did my master's first, then started writing some certifications and what have you. And I remember when I was going to write my CISA, I was so scared that I didn't even tell anybody. I didn't tell my children. I just took myself to the venue, and lo and behold.
You wrote Sisa.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm a Sisa.
I know you are a Sisa. I just needed to hear you say it again.
Yeah.
How many times
Sisa,
did you?
I'm a PMP.
Okay, wait first.
I'm a CISM.
You did CISM.
I'm a series.
Damola, are you listening to all of this? Damola, first of all, reduce the AC. I'm getting hot.
Master.
All these things she's saying, just reduce it to 65.
Yeah.
Let's put that. For people who don't understand what she's saying, I don't know how to explain it. People do, when they get CISA, they think they have done enough.
Oh, really?
You have
CISA is just half of
you have a CISSP.
CISA is half of CISM. CISM is half of C-Risk. So it goes like that, and like that, and like that.
But what I know about these things, is you cannot do these things and be doing something else. These things take all of you.
Yes, it took all of me. It took all of me. And because I knew I wanted to write those certifications, you hardly see me. You know, I was becoming a nerd.
But you are Bukky, right? Please.
Yes.
You are an actress. Why did you leave that behind? Let's even start with that. Why leave all of that behind and come and, because this is, let's be clear about what that is. It is suffering. I'm sure that on some days you might have asked yourself that, what's going on here?
Trust me, sometimes I feel like she won't lean.
Exactly.
But I'm just a kind of person that I love challenges, and my being challenged also challenges my children as well, because they're like, if Iya can do this, then I can do it. If Iya can do this, then I can do it. I remember I wrote my PMP exam on, I think it was on a Christmas day at my son's house. And I had to wake up about 4 a.m. That was my exam time. And was like, yeah, you're actually doing this. I said, yes, I'm doing it. And it's a proto exam. So I sat down, did the exam, and it was like, you're finished. He said, yeah, I must do this.
How old is he?
He's 20, he's going to be 28.
Or more important, how old was he at that time?
He was 26. That's my second son.
Okay.
He's, the military one.
How old is the older one?
30.
Wait, now you don't have a 30-year-old. Now how can you?
Yes, I do. My first son is OJ Wright. He's a business analyst. He's actually a biochem major from Rutgers University, and he does business analyst, and he sings. He's a musician.
Okay, look, at the risk of repeating this, let's go back again to this. So you leave Nigeria for the United States. Why in the first place? Especially
my children.
Yeah, but I mean, when did you leave? What year was that?
2011.
Okay, my math
2008 to be precise.
Okay, because typically when you hear my children, you're typically thinking about babies or toddlers.
Oh, now they are grown, they are men.
Yeah, so I mean, then were they that young?
Yes, they were teenagers.
Okay. Was there any point in time during this journey where it seemed that Bukky Wright, the actress and the acting career, was done? I mean, we are not hearing from her again. She's over. She's in the United States.
There was a time a lot of people thought that. And because I'm a kind of person that if I'm doing something, I'm focused. So I left acting and everything behind. I know I'm still going to go back to it someday, because my sister, she's in UK. She'll be like, Bukola, you have to come back to the industry. The industry needs you. I'll be like, sister, I am not going to Nigeria. Blah, 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 blah. I am not going, But when God says it's time, something took me to Nigeria again. Producer started calling and calling and calling. My manager was like, sis, people need you here. Blah, 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 blah. And I gave it a shot. Before then, I went for my my best friend's son's wedding after a very long time that I've not been in Nigeria. But she was like, Tomba biere kumawa. But only Nigeria in Washala for me. You know? Because I was so like, I wasn't coming. You know, a lot of producers had called and I turned them down. But when my friend said, Tomba biere kumawa, and that's my best friend, my childhood friend.
Okay.
So I didn't have a choice. I went to Nigeria. Getting to Nigeria, a producer hooked me. Like, please, since you are here, let me do this one. Like, okay, I just did it. I came back again. And my sister was like, Bukola, don't you miss the industry? I said, well, I think I do. But my job, it's like, but you work remotely, blah, 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 blah. So I took my computer, went to Nigeria. I was working from Nigeria, you know. Then I didn't think of going on any set. I just wanted to feel how it feels working from Nigeria, if it's going to be comfortable for me and stuff like that. And it's so funny that I was in the middle of a project, you know, an audit project. And I was like, okay, I would wake up in the middle of the night to do the job because of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as about the time that I wanted to leave, then a producer called. And Femi Odugbemi too called. I was like, Bukky, I hear you are in Nigeria. I must write a script though. Like, well, but I'm about to leave. So I left. Came back again to US. Then Nora Awolowo called with my manager that she wanted me in Red Circle. I was like, Red Circle. She said, don't worry, ma, we'll buy your ticket. You know. And they bought the ticket. I went back, did the job. I took time off from my work. I did the job. I got here, not quite 2-3 weeks. Something about the Briggs producer called again that they wanted me back in Nigeria. I'm like, I'm not sure I can make it. Please. And my manager too was like, sis, you have to come, kitiko, something about the Briggs. Yeah, she had seen the. I said, okay, I'm coming. I went back again, you know, and Ashwebi Diary too came. Then I just thought, you know what? I think I need to go back into the industry, see how I can juggle the two together, and that's what I'm doing right now.
Wait, look, is it you're recounting this thing now? You're recalling this very cool, calm, and collected. Were you that way through it all? Because I went through this as well, and I didn't handle it as well as you seem to have done. As I said, if you had hugged me any tighter in 2022, I might have started crying because I felt like I was caught adrift. The intention was never to stay here. COVID was part of the problem. So, but you seem to have been cool through it all. Are you telling me you didn't have those times where, I mean, you're like, you did mention, but that was in relation to when you were riding, you know, CISA. But as it related to being here and being away from the industry, you didn't worry about, with all I've done, am I going to just, because I was reading my own career obituary in the newspapers. They were writing the obituaries.
I read mine too. But I'm just a kind of person that, like, I would always tell all my mentees that for you to succeed, you have to, first of all, grow a very thick skin.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what they say, no matter what you hear, no matter what you see, you don't let it get to you. You know, gone are those days when things really would get to me and I would break down and start crying.
Mm.
But as time goes by, I didn't allow things to get to me.
Mm.
I do me.
Mm.
Yeah. As long as I'm happy doing whatever I'm doing, I don't care.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Was there a time that I felt like, what are you doing here? Why are you suffering yourself? Yes. There was a time that I felt that way.
Mm.
You know, when you have to do a lot of things by yourself, you know, and for me, it's not really about doing the things by myself that was my problem, but sometimes the loneliness will get to you. You know, and that was when my children had started growing, leaving home, you know, being by themselves, and I start being by myself. And I'll be like, this is lonesome, you know. But before I could really get deep into it, I would challenge myself again. That's one thing I do to myself. If I start to feel depressed, was there a time I was depressed? Yes. Yes, that I was taking depression, antidepressants.
Wow.
Yes.
Like clinical depression.
Yes, there was a time.
Okay.
But my children had to win me out of it. They were, you know, they have always been my number one critique. They have always been I don't know if I could call my children my pillar of life. And they know that I would live my life for them. So now they tell me, hey, yeah, you've been living your life for us. It's now to live for you. Enjoy yourself. Have fun.
You know, you're saying almost verbatim what Shola Shubowale said when she was in the UK. She said almost verbatim that after a while, when the kids grew, they looked at us and said, Mom, you have done enough. You have given up enough for us. It's time for you to go back to you.
Yeah, that's what my kids told me. You're like, have fun. Enjoy yourself.
So it is worth it in the end if you do it for the kids.
Yes, it is.
Because the narrative we get is that, can't you raise your kids in Nigeria?
Well, I don't know. For me, I'm not sure if I come again, I'll be a different person. I would still live my life for my children. I got just 2 of them. And they know that I would go to the moon and back for them. Yeah. And now they tell me, yeah, do you be happy? What do you want? You know?
And what have you chosen that you want? Is to go back to being Bukky, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they support me fully. You know, for my movie, they contributed millions for me to support my job. And I'm so happy that, yes.
That your kids, that is the literal definition of Onjewomo. That's the literal.
And not just that, they take care of me.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, anybody looking at you would find hard to believe that you have a son in the military.
Oh, yes, I do.
You know, for me, this thing you're talking about, because I'd like to know what led you into that depression. Because for me, it was joy. You know how blessings have 2 sides.
Yes.
You can't have the blessing without the cross. You have to bear the cross, so to speak. So, so when the twins were growing, you know how sometimes babies would soil their diapers, and the load would be so heavy that the diaper will not be able to hold it, right?
Yeah.
And then imagine 2 kids, and it's as if they planned this. And their mom will be out, and they do that, and then they start running about the house.
Oh dear.
And then in that minute, I am chasing one, I'm cleaning, I'm soiled, I'm like, and I stop in that minute, I'm like, Teju, what?
I know the feeling.
What are you doing here?
I know the feeling, but unfortunately, I didn't go through that here. During that time, we were in Nigeria to do all that and had helps and everything. But when you now decide to come here for them as teenagers and they start growing and they need to go on their own and you now be alone by yourself. And sometimes I'm studying, you know, sometimes I don't even understand what I'm studying. Sometimes I'm tired. I just want to, you know, drop everything, you know, and my depression came during COVID because every minute I watch the news, I hear somebody is dead. I turned off the TV they'll tell you millions are dead, thousands are dead, and up to now I still suffer the blood pressure because now I'm on blood pressure medication and my children would tell me, yeah, stop watching all these things. And I was alone by myself. And I thought if I had been home, maybe somebody would be with me. Maybe I won't be by myself. A lot of things would cross your mind. What if you die in this house by yourself? What if you catch COVID and something, a lot of stuff start to cross your mind. And, sometime again, as a woman, you are all by yourself in the house, nobody to talk to. I would cook and not eat. To tell you the very honest truth, if you're not a very strong person, abroad can be depressing. Especially if you are one of those people that is out there, that you have things being done for you and stuff, and you now find yourself all of a sudden by yourself doing everything, and I would tell anybody that cares to listen that if you have a man or a woman by your side coming abroad, please hold him or her tightly. Because by the time you find out that you're alone, that's when you realize that in Kontishie, that's the truth. Like I would tell my friend that you keep enjoying it now that your children are still young, you can still yell at them, you still get home and find somebody to talk to. But when they're all gone, because here, that is the way it is, they would leave home, go to college, and a lot of times they don't come back. They go find their way or their route from there. And you're by yourself.
They tell me that and I think they are lying and joking.
No, they are not.
I think because I can't wait for the kids.
Oh, please enjoy it while it lasts.
All this my running after them. Stop it. Change diaper. I should enjoy it.
Enjoy it while it lasts.
You're telling me that this thing I'm hoping will happen. I won't enjoy it as much as I'm thinking I'll enjoy it when they go.
No, enjoy it while it lasts. Trust me. Because when they go, that's when you realize that or more. But at the same time, you want to pray for them to succeed. You want to pray for them to go, because you don't want to, put them on under your shield all the time. You want them to make the mistake and learn and be something in life.
True. I can imagine that as you were talking about being alone and how that can engender depression, what was going through my mind? And I can be sure that what will be going through many men's mind who will watch this is that, Omoto Linle Toyi. Such a beautiful, why would you be alone? That's as you're saying that, I'm thinking,
It's unfortunate that people have a different perspective of me. A lot of people don't know Bukky Wright, but they feel they know Bukky Wright. No, they do not know me. I'm a very private person. Sometimes my being private gets so lonely that my friends start to abuse me that you are so boring. I just want to sit in my corner, watch movie, read, write, do something for myself. And, at a point I went through a divorce. All that put together would tell on you, trust me. And being abroad, where everybody wake up in the morning, go about their daily businesses, and you're by yourself. Is it that you go about your daily business and do something for yourself, or just sit there and sulk? So for me, I use it to challenge myself.
This is critical you should say this, because from where we come from,
Yeah.
When we hear them talk about depression, we think they are just being spoilt. We think, what are you talking about? What do you mean? Just get up and be happy.
No, they're not. Especially living abroad. Especially living abroad. It's very, very, people feel, just to go to parties or just, no. For somebody like me, I'm not a very social person. I'm not sure if a lot of people knows that. I'm not a very social person. I keep to myself a lot. And if you are that kind of person, it's easy for you to fall into depression. Yes. So that's why these days when I see people going to parties and doing everything, I do not condemn them. Because I'm not that kind of person does not mean they cannot live their lives. Because I've been close to it. If not for my children, they read the medication and were like, yeah, you have to stop this medication. You have to stop it. If you take it for too long, you won't be able to stop. And I just sat down one day. I decided, you know what? I'm not taking it again. And I called my doctor. I said, remove this from my medications. She said, are you sure? I said, yes, I'm sure. She said, okay, what do you want to do now? I said, I'm going to study and write an exam. And I said, if I don't pass it, then I'll go back. If I pass it, then that means I don't need it. And that was what I did.
All right. Thank you for watching thus far. And this is not the end. We'll continue after this. I just want to say thank you to the partners of this podcast who bring it to you. What you'd call our sponsors is Lightforth. Lightforth is your online solution for job applications in 2025 and beyond. If you're a person who's in the job market, Lightforth is the solution that not only trains you in the job, whatever the job, Lightforth helps you to prepare your resume to make sure that it is compliant according to the industry standards and also helps you apply for the jobs. In addition, Lightforth also prepares you for the interviews, does the interview alongside you, and gives you all the back-end information. So essentially, just think of yourself as having another self, an avatar that can do all the job applications for you and knows every single job, every single vacancy in your field, and can tailor your resume and your application to every single job while knowing every single answer to every single job. I mean, that's just amazing. It is said that it takes an average of 20 minutes to properly apply for just a job. Lightforth does it for you in seconds. For that whole 20 minutes, Lightforth will apply to over 100 jobs for you and beyond. To learn more, the link is in my bio. Just look for the link where it says Lightforth app or Lightforth job application. Thank you, Lightforth. Wow. So for me, when I think about it, people typically go for the low-hanging fruit. Getting certified in CISA, PMP, and all these things you have done is not the lowest hanging. I mean, if you come to America and you're looking for something to do, to go into information security and get is like, I find it hard to say in English. I'll say it first in Yoruba. I'll try to translate. It's ikojayi. It's like it's not your lowest. There are quite a few other things you can do that are easier. Like for example, nursing? Maybe nursing, maybe accounts payable, maybe those kind of things. Going for IT and getting into it, as we've established, is not easy. Why didn't you do any of the other easier things?
Yeah, because when I first came in and the first time I would work, I studied and get trained in Epic. And doing Epic is like audits.
Okay.
But a lot of people don't seem to understand it. But until you go into audits before you can understand that, okay, this thing is just like audits. Because it's like, apart from training medical end users on how to put their information in the system, you also want to see, okay, maybe for me, he he went beyond showing them where to put their information. For me, it was like learning the back end of the medical field.
Okay.
So if you are going through all that, I think he made it easy for me. I don't know about other people, but it made it easy for me to transition into audits.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I see. Having had some sort of soft landing in a way you didn't intend. Some of those things were, they were cross-functional. You could bridge them together.
Yes, for me.
Okay.
It made it easy for me.
Okay.
Because I would go, showing them, okay, what is happening? What are you doing on the system? Why are you doing it? Making sure that you know what is happening.
Yeah.
So it made it a bit, it gave me a kind of soft landing. I don't know for other people.
Yeah, but the thing is, you're going deeper. All of a sudden, you're going deeper. I would have assumed doing IT.
I'm like that.
And I see that doing IT was something you did, as you said, in the time, whatever your hands find to do it with all your might. So, I'm here. Look, I'm not there where I used to be Bukky Wright. All right. So let me do this thing. I'm challenged. Now the kids are grown. We have military men. We have men who are doing things. They're investing in mommy's project. These are now men.
Yes.
So at this point, why not just go back to what you used to do fully? But you're going deeper into IT. Why?
I just enjoy it.
No.
I enjoy it. And on one corner, I'm going back into acting. And like I told them in Nigeria last week, I'm back to stay. I'm back to collect my flowers.
But so you seem to have crossed a gulf that not many people will be able to cross, because I don't know. Did and does acting as an actress pay? This is how I mean in this day and age, because now apparently, I didn't know what your financial situation was before. Well, well steeped now in IT. You're all right. You are very all right now. Whatever happens with that, this one is taken care of. So let's say an actress is watching. It's not even a young actress. Let's say somebody who's been there almost as long as you have. Can they live by acting alone? Because I keep asking my actors these questions. Is that industry buoyant enough to keep you going?
Now, yes.
So would you advise to anybody, let's say somebody younger, would your advice be, look, come get this as a backup, or this was, I guess what I'm asking is, was this something that you would do again if you could plan it, not only just for family? If you had the opportunity and it wasn't just for the boys, for your family, if there was an opportunity that you come here, you'd learn how to do IT, you will get into IT and have that as well. Would you do it? Would you advise a 25-year-old actress to do it?
To do it?
Yeah, or just face your acting, face your craft.
It depends on your choice. If you're like me, that like to challenge myself. If you're in Rome, you want to behave like a Roman. If you find yourself here in US, you don't have to sulk and start doing menial jobs because of what? For me, I'll tell you, throw the pride away, go into something that you feel will benefit you at the end of the day. Not because, like I said, I told myself I'm not going to do a menial job. No, hell no.
So throw the pride away, but throw it away with sense. Throw it away with some measure of,
like, I remember when I was doing Epic, a lot of people didn't think I knew what I was doing. They'll be like, oh, Auntie, do you need help? So it will surprise them that I'm on a project and I'm not calling anybody. Because first and foremost, I made sure I was at an orientation when I first started. And I heard somebody saying it beside me.
That
and I was just smiling to myself. And A week, 2 weeks, I was not tapered. 3 weeks, I was not tapered.
What does it mean to be tapered?
They'll send you home.
Oh, they'll cut you off.
They'll cut you off the project. Yes. And they were like, really? Because before I took my first project, I paid so much to undergo the training. You know, I paid to undergo the training. I didn't just start. But that's what a lot of people didn't understand. So same thing with IT. I paid so much for trainings here and there, going to different schools. You know, I would ask questions. I would read books, a lot of things like that. I didn't just jump into it.
Wow. So how long before you, because again, I'm getting that, it seems now all of a sudden, it will seem that when you got into information security, it wasn't as popular as it now is, right?
No.
So the promise that you hear a lot now is that, yeah, like all things that we get into when we think it is easy. You think it's easy. You think it's easy. Just, this person has 3 jobs. They have to relay. Relay. He has 2 jobs. His wife has 2 jobs. Between them, just get into a class, study for 3 months and all of that. And then I hear people now that say, what are you saying? I've submitted 200 CVs. I only got... They only called me for 2 interviews.
Okay.
The 2 interviews that they didn't give me.
Okay, now you are getting it.
So this is why, in case somebody's not understanding why I'm looking at you, that how did you do this thing? How long did it take you to get through that deep that was applying for jobs?
It took me over a year.
Excuse me, please. Come back. How does one not get discouraged by that?
That's the thing. You have to be determined. The same me, I did mortgage underwriting.
Now you're talking.
The same me, I did AM analyst, anti-money laundering. But because even when I was doing the AML, I was telling myself that information security is still where I'm going. I would walk and go to school. I would submit my CV, have series of interviews, but I made sure that I had something that was still paying my bills.
Okay.
So you don't throw all your eggs in one basket.
So to understand you now love, because this is where I'm going. Because we have to straddle the line between passion, calling, destiny. So on the surface, you would think that Bukky Wright, she's called to be an actor or an actress. I mean, a thespian.
I'm an actor.
Yeah, that's what she does. She's great on screen. We love her. She lights up the screen. In fact, I remember something RMD said one day when I was trying to light somebody with light skin. Said, baby face, now you get wahala. See how you black. Said, people way fair. The camera was made for them. Don't you see how they look like the Oyinbo people that made it? It will seem on the surface that that's your calling, and a conventional wisdom is face your calling. Go deep in your calling, face it, right? But all of a sudden,
if you find yourself where you need to do something else, then.
Yeah, but you are beyond that point now. You are now, the boys are now grown. You have made the money. They are demanding you back home. They're flying you here just for a few days just to cut cake. I mean, you're back in your calling. So I guess why not? I might have asked before. Why not just face your calling? IT, thank you. I loved you while it lasted. But see ya, Bukky's going back to base to be queen. Yeah, why not just do that?
Yes, I am going back to my base to be the queen that I am, the queen of the tube.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just enjoy doing something. And the fact that I see that my country needs it. Nigeria needs it.
What exactly? The IT or the acting?
The IT.
Oh, you must explain that.
Yes. Nigeria needs it, and it's a knowledge that I've been able to acquire. So if I am going to impact people with the knowledge, why not? If I am going to, impact my country with it, why not? So now my thinking is going back home, having a consulting firm in my field here, then work for any organization that needs my service, train people, and I'm still doing my acting.
That sounds a plan. I have a friend who is thinking.
You should always have a plan.
Yeah, I have a friend who is thinking the same thing. He's been in the United States. He's gained, all the knowledge. Has a doctorate. Has all of that. He's going back home as well. But his major challenge is that when you train the people, there's not much of a market for them to use those skills. In fact, what he says is, why can't they give us the remote jobs like they are giving parts of Asia? Right? If they could just do that for Nigeria, the market is endless. Yeah. So right now, are there really those applications?
Unfortunately, there are some companies that do not mind. Depends on the level of your job. But because I'm at the top at my job, so I would say I know why jobs are not being given to Nigerians.
I like that. Did you just say that I am at the top in my job?
Yes, I am.
I like that. You're you're one of the top in your job as an IT professional.
Yeah.
I mean, do you not just feel proud of yourself? So
this complete
reinvention. This is you completely reinvented yourself.
I'm proud of myself, and I give glory to God.
For me, you're a sign and a wonder, as it were. I mean, these things that you're talking about. Okay, so I
was saying why it's not easy for Nigerians to get
those jobs. Yes,
those jobs
yes.
As remote, because of unfortunately what Nigerians are known for. I remember when I was doing AML as well, a lot of names will flash and you'll be like, yeah, AML is anti-money laundering. And you'll be scared that you're a Nigerian. Even though it's not all of us that are doing it, but we have some bad eggs that, make people feel like Nigeria is not good or something. And Nigeria is always red flagged. So it's an issue for organizations to give their computers with the informations to Nigerians, which, to be very honest, a lot of countries, a lot of other nations are worse than Nigeria. True. When it comes to that. True. But it's just the paints that they've decided to paint Nigeria. So it's tough unless some of us start to, get the job and prove them wrong. And that's why I would say that even at that, in Nigeria, we need people like us, to be honest, because it's like a lot of people do a lot of stuff on the system that they don't know the implication of it. With a lot of organizations not having controls in place for the security of their information system. And like I would tell at my job, because I work for a non-profit organization, they always want to protect the big affiliates. But I tell them that, hey guys, we have to be very, very careful and concentrate more on the small affiliates, because as soon as the bad actors are able to get into the small affiliates, now that we're all using the same system, it's going to get to us. So the same control we put in place for the big affiliates is the same we have to put in in place for the small affiliates, as long as you are using computer.
Okay, in Nigeria though, because I've wondered about that. You just mentioned, you touched on it. Are there controls in place? And if these controls are not there, why are we not being hacked on a daily? I mean, are there, because I've heard some of these terms, are there access controls in place, change management controls?
That's why it's easy for anybody to hack any bank. They have banks in Nigeria anyhow.
Wow. Somebody actually mentioned once, he said if they actually told you what was going on, there'd be a panic.
Yeah. Like in December when I was home, lots of banks failed. There were lots of system failures and everything. There a lot of people could not get money and stuff. But it's just unfortunate that they won't tell you exactly what is going on. Unlike here, that the law will make them tell you what is happening.
You know, it's a dream because I'm thinking, okay, given who you are right now, so now you have the name, you have the face, and now you have the requisite experience and information. Why is a big institution in Nigeria not poaching you and paying you top bucks?
I don't know. I'm sure it's going to get to that.
Oh, really? You're hopeful that?
Yeah, they're going to need people like us sometime.
Like sometime. Okay. There's this question that I ask nearly all my guests now, especially those who spend time here and feel I'm nostalgic. I miss home a lot. I can't wait to go back. But there seems to be two camps on this side of the things now. Every time you ask, man, if you are lucky enough to jackpot, as they call it, I'm gone, I'm never coming back. And there's a side that says Nigeria is where it is at. You know, you're one who balances both now. So where is it at really? I'm asking this because let's assume that, because again, having gone through the journey, many times I've asked myself, is it even worth it? Right? The whole thing. Okay, so we're doing it for the kids. Couldn't I have done it another way for the kids? Perhaps, as you said, perhaps wait for them to even grow small self and bring them here. You know, and then I told myself that, you know what, I was going to be doing a lot of travel in my future. I wanted to get the passport that wouldn't, you know, a passport without limitations, so to speak. But I've asked myself in the face of the fire, has it even been worth it? So if I wasn't here.
If I ask you that, has it been worth it?
If you'd ask me. Okay, you're the second person who is asking me a question in as many days. I don't like when my guests ask me a question. Has it been worth it? Of course it's been worth it because I am mindful. So this is why it's been worth it for me. It's not even so I like to tell people that the gods deceived me to come to America.
Oh, really?
Oh yes, they deceived me.
But the gods are not to blame.
They are not to blame. One Tommy Jenny. Because the picture they painted was, okay, so just go.
Oh my days.
The picture they painted was, look, just go, settle the kids and your wife, you know. You have sponsors for 30. In fact, at the point I was about to go, we had two sponsors saying, when will you record again the show? So I told my manager to tell them that I need 6 months. I was even tired, Seth, having recorded. So let me go for 6 months, settle the family. And then my mom is also a resident of the United States. So she will come and all of that. So that's how we went. Okay. And the day before my mom, in fact, the day she landed in another city and went to my sister.
Okay.
Thinking being that, look, since I'm going to come and be with you guys, the wife and the kids, while you go back, this has been a few months after we'd come. Since you're going to go back to Nigeria and leave us alone, let me spend just 1 week with your sister so that she won't feel bad.
Okay.
My mom lands in my sister's city today. They close all the airspaces tomorrow.
Wow.
And COVID shut us down for a year.
Yeah. Okay.
That's how the gods deceived me.
Oh my days.
So that's my thing.
Okay.
I like to tell people that if when we were driving to the airport, when we were coming, if I had fallen into a trance and I'd seen what would happen, I'd have just told the driver, Tony, what do you share? Turn, pardon, what do you share? We're not going anywhere. So that's why I'm asking you, because sometimes I feel like if I knew what I knew then, I wouldn't have made the move. Right? People don't think that of me because of what a lot of my guests say. They think I'm anti-Nigerian, but I'm not really. But it is what it is. Right? So that's why I'm asking you, for one who has now seen it through. You are now through. You even got here and got to the top of the corporate ladder. The kids are now grown. you have your pali blue lọ́wọ́ kan, pali green lọ́wọ́ kejì, and everything. So that's what I'm asking, is it worth it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Because now, at least, I can go to many countries in the world without having to queue for visas or being denied.
Mm-hmm.
That's one.
Mm-hmm.
Then two, I am not the same Bukky that left Nigeria 2008.
Oh, tell me what changed.
A lot of things changed. My blue P, my
blue passport, let's be clear.
Yes. And then my brain changed.
How do you mean? You must explain that.
I went back to school, invested in myself as a person. And, I know that even my friend would abuse me in Nigeria that, America, because my orientation had changed to a lot of things that we do and we feel is normal in Nigeria. I have seen the two worlds, so I can say that this is where I want to be. So I have seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. So it's been able to shape on me as a woman, as a person. So I would say, yes, it is really worth it for me.
So I tell people, that's bad English. So I tell people that, you know how they say, so we've heard that all our lives as Nigerians. You must have heard it. Nigeria is tough. If you can make it in Nigeria, you can make it anywhere. And I used to say that until I go to the US.
But to be very honest, a lot of Nigerians are doing well anywhere in the world.
Yes.
Because of where we come from.
Well, yes. But my point is, America trains you in such a way that Nigeria doesn't train you. Because Nigeria, you have, no matter how bad, in fact, people say in Nigeria, they say that the Omoluabis, the people of Ajawa, they say, bi tonje batikuro ninu ise, abushe, that once you have food to eat, everything. I tell them in America, that's not the way. In America, your biggest problem in America is accommodation. It's not food. Which leads, yes.
Yeah.
Which leads you to think that, at home you have such a support system that no matter how bad it is, you will figure it out. America trains you in such a way that Nigeria doesn't.
Yeah, the thing here is that it's a realistic world. That you have to realize that you're on your own. Because the title you want to go and call here too is here to hustle too. But Nigeria, we still have this communal living that makes it easy for you no matter what. No matter what, no matter your level, Nigeria still makes it a lot easy for you.
True.
So I'm not going to take that away from Nigeria. And to be very honest, Nigerians are their brother's keeper.
True.
Even here. And I try as much as I could to be my brother's keeper here as well. That's why I would give informations about what is going on. Okay, this is what you need. This is what you... And it's become an habit for me that if I see any new person coming in, I'll be like, if there's anything you need, call me for you to be able to stand on your feet. Because I hate it when I feel like Nigerians are the ones doing the dirty jobs. So in my own capacity, I want to be able to help you leave that dirty job. So it's still the Nigeria in me that would make me do that. So give informations, help. Okay.
I must validate what you said and corroborate what you said about helping other people, right? Because when I interviewed Femi Ogedengbe, he said when he was going through it,
Oh, please.
you reached out to him. Anybody can go and you can go and watch it, my interview. He said, Bukky Wright, pay me. Ipe Femi Oremi. Bon, Texas, be coming to Texas. Let me see. And then when he couldn't come, he said you even reached out or sent him something. He put it on the record. So you're not just talking. You actually walk the walk.
Yeah. I do that for a lot of people.
Wow. Well, okay. So that's how I mean. So America, so the worth, the tangible worth of it is, the blue passport. It's rewired your brain. Is there any other thing that is a benefit to it?
He gives you the opportunity to discover yourself. He gives you that opportunity to come out of your comfort zone and be something, do something for yourself.
That's true. I'm a great lover of Fela's music. Some biographers of Fela, in fact, the principal biographies of Fela mentioned that when he was working in radio in Nigeria when he was younger, his music wasn't proliferating as much or accepted as much as he wanted, and he left in annoyance for America. And according to one biographer, I quote, he said, it was America that made Fela come back to himself. Fela discovered himself in America, and once he had that understanding, he left for Nigeria.
Yeah.
America does that for you.
Yeah.
I think about that.
Does that to you.
Okay. How did it do? It does it to you.
Yeah.
Wow. That's saying something. Okay. At what age?
Like, there's some things, because we're Nigerians, a lot of us don't like to leave our comfort zones. But America makes you leave your comfort zone. If you know you want to live here, then you have to get out of your comfort zone. If you want to live here, when I say you want to live here, you want to be able to live here and make it, then you have to leave your comfort zone. We have a lot of people acting here, but they still have to go to work. They'll go to work and still act because it's not enough. Because we are not in the Hollywood. And what if I tell you that those in Hollywood still have side jobs? But maybe because I've always had side jobs apart from acting in Nigeria. I've always done that. So he made it easy for me to say that, okay, is Bukky right? I remember I would go to China, meet all these people in China. They will say, oh, Bukky right. Style they be you know what I mean? So I've always believed in, don't let it get to you. Don't let it get into your head. For you to start misbehaving. For you to start doing what you're not supposed to do. That's why I'm like, when they say they need to take this, they need to take that for them to be able to be, they used to be, I'll be like, oh, really? That means Betty Batu Shibubu Yamotara Maya Bukky. Because muti ojú mi ò gbélé. Kama eje wa sọ pé ke wa muti mo àbí mo mu sìgá àbí nǹkankan. But àwọn tó ń ṣe, well, I wish them the best. I'm not here to condemn anybody.
Why is it ojú mi ò gbélé? Well, I mean, I understand what that means, but what's the expression of ojú mi ò gbélé in your life?
Ojú mi ò rọ̀ tó bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn débi pé wọ́n lójú tó bá rọ̀ ni rorẹ́ máa so. Ojú mi ò rọ̀ débi pé rorẹ́ fẹ́ so. So that means pé tí bá tún mu tí mọ́ tara mi, then mi mọ̀ nǹkan tó máa ṣẹlẹ̀.
Okay, let me try to do all this translation. That I'm not such a, how do you say that? I'm a formidable person. I'm not exactly a pushover.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't take anything.
I don't take shit.
No, if I take substances now, can imagine how worse I'd be.
Exactly.
Is that a good characterization?
Exactly.
What you said.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that why you are so nice though? It's like, because I meet somebody, I know somebody who says that I am so nice up front, so that when I bring out the other side of me, they will wait against my niceness. In fact, the way he said it was in Yoruba, he said, Mumanda, humility siwaju. So that
for me, it's not why I'm nice. I'm just the natural. This is me. What you see with me is what you get. So what you bring is what you get back from me. You understand? But I start being myself with you. But don't now feel because I am being myself with you, I am that nice person to you. You now want to take it for granted.
That's very street. Sorry, what's your background? What do I need to understand about you early enough? For me, I mean, I was an Ajibora. I say that I was a Corona kid and all of that, right? What was your background? That if I know anything that you've said, for example, I know that later in life because I entered the streets.
Unfortunately, I knew that later in life too. I grew up. I remember when growing up, I now I'm get inside. When I came into the industry, I would get inside. But change you bad. You know, it's because we are botsy does not mean that we all have the atom of madness in us. It now depends on when it's going to germinate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what it is. If anybody had told me, even for my dad, if they had told him that I would act, he would be like, not my daughter. Because I grew up in a house, once of a place, don't speak vernacular. That's my upbringing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the kind of house I lived on in Reakari Estate.
Okay.
So that's my background. That you can't even speak Yoruba in my house. Speaking Yoruba in my house, that means you are going to give maybe your lunch or something. You know what I mean?
I do.
Yeah. But when it's time to go on the streets, you go on the streets, no. And streets are coy.
Oh no, they'll teach you.
You know, no, streets will teach you. Street will street you. You know what I mean? Street will strip you naked of that body.
You know, I wonder what changed though once you spoke about this vernacular, because they used to say it in my house too. Yeah. But they used to say in everybody's house that was at least up and middle class to upper class, and it never worked on all of us. They said it and we all understood Yoruba, and I find now that we are struggling to get our kids home and abroad to even speak the thing.
I know, right?
I mean, what's going to do? Your kids speak? Your boys? Do they speak Yoruba? Do they?
Yeah, my children speak Yoruba because I would say I'm lucky enough to have my mom when my kids were growing up.
Oh.
And my mom would speak Yoruba to them.
Okay.
Not English.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do they appreciate you for that?
Yes. And now my second son is married to Puerto Rican American. And he will be like, because they speak their language too. So he's so proud that he's able to speak Yoruba as well.
Wow.
And it's so funny that my children will still, as old as they are, they'll still prostrate to greet elders.
Oh, so how do they differentiate? Because I'm at that stage now. Because my children now, they do that, they kneel down, they prostrate. But now sometimes they want to do it for Oyibo people, for white people. I'm like, no, we don't do it for these people. We do it for these people.
The advantage is that my children had grown.
Okay, again,
before coming here.
So there's that.
So I would always advise people that let your children go through that stage in Nigeria before coming out.
Ooh.
Yes, because it helps them. You would have been able to shape them. And that's why you see a lot of people taking their children back to Nigeria. But the Nigeria they're taking them back to is the Nigeria that they did not grow up from. So it's going to be tough on them. So if you have the opportunity of having your children grow in Nigeria, good for you. So they're having, they're having the advantage of the two worlds. You know what I mean? Yeah. But you having kids here, and wanting to take them back home, it might be a tough one. It might be a very tough one. But I still will tell you, do all you can in your house to teach them our culture. Because when your motoba solenu, osakuyakonyo.
Even I haven't heard that before. Please translate.
If you lose your origin,
yes,
you are bound to suffer. Because you'll be standing between two worlds that is not yours. Neither of it is yours. You know what I mean? So is either you're a Nigerian or you're an American. And whether you like it or not, you and I are not American.
I beg your pardon.
Oh, yeah.
Excuse me, please.
Okay.
Look, what do you mean?
Okay. I hear you.
What do you mean, man?
Okay. I hear you, woman. Whether we like it or not.
But it's because they make you write on your passport.
Yes.
Place of birth.
Yes.
They make you write on your blue passport. It's there.
Yes.
But with the kids get place of birth. They get America.
America.
Yeah.
Yes, but you still want them to know where you come from. You still want them to know their origin. So that they have a second passport.
True that. We can trace home. That's the advantage that they have. They're as African American, at least in terms of their heritage. As any other person.
And if
then
you
they're
look
African.
If you look at it now, the African heritage is being appreciated all over the world. It's just that we that are the core Africans are not appreciating what we have. It's just unfortunate. It's unfortunate. But whether we like it or not, it's better we start identifying the fact that we're Africans. I know a lot of Americans that have decided to relocate to Africa because they went to do their DNA. And they see that, okay, I'm from Ghana, I'm from Nigeria. We didn't need to go through all that before we know where we come from.
Okay, you've spoken to one side of it with the kids, and this is my finalish question. If you can plan it, make sure they're raised, they grow somewhat to a certain extent in Nigeria before moving them to wherever you want to move them to. If you saw my face move, that's Damola, our executive producer, trying to remind me to pull my tie. Damola, I'll do it. So so I raise them to an extent. I wonder at what age, because that's the other side, at what age for adults is it too old to come to America to do what you have done and what I am doing, right? Because I do know that if a friend of mine likes to joke that so when I left and he hadn't heard from me for a few months, he's in entertainment as well. And then I called him after a few months and he heard that I was in America. What he said was, because it was the year I turned 40 and my 40th birthday was in January. And then we left later in the year. So what he said was, so na send off now they do for us. Well, this is our 40th birthday. Yeah. And he was right. That's how I thought about my 40th birthday, that I'll be gone for 6 to 8 months before you guys see me again. Again, I didn't think COVID was going to lock me in place, yeah. But I do know now that it's harder, having been through it if you're a 50-year-old person, I mean, I'd ask you to, think about it very well. So I'm asking you, at what age is it perhaps not advisable? Just stay with what you know. Is it that there's no age? Just do whatever you need to do, whatever the age.
It's not about age. It's about the level at which you are.
Okay.
You can imagine somebody that has a good job in Nigeria and have your own house and everything. I would want to ask, do you know where you want to start from when you relocate? So that's why I said it's at the level at which you want to take it from. As I know a lot of people that got their first degree at the age of 70. So you know what I mean?
Yes.
Because that's what they want. So it depends on where you are starting it from. It depends on you as a person. I mean, age is nothing, for me, is nothing but a number. Age is nothing but a number. If you are living Nigeria as a carpenter and you want to come here and start working in a furniture company that would better your life, so be it. But not knowing where you are going,
It's key. You have said this. What you have just said in essence is, do not let restlessness be the witness that pushes you from Nigeria. Don't let this, I am tired.
Yes.
I'm tired. But you don't know what you're going to do. You're just tired. You're tired of the bad roads, bad light. So what are you going to do? Well, we'll figure it out. Well, let's just go. Don't let that be the witness that pushes you out. Because what you will find here,
at least I met somebody that I think he's a police officer in Nigeria, and he's into the security, blah 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 blah. He asked me, he said he's learning cybersecurity in Nigeria, blah 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 blah. If he comes to US, will he get a job? I said, well, one thing I know that you can get a job, but you have to understand the system. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So he said, don't you think I'm too old? I said, well, it depends on what you call old and what you call young. If you feel your brain can still juggle it, because America would make you work for every penny that you are being paid.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are strong enough for it, you're welcome. When you get to US, this is my number. Give me a call. I'll do what I can to help you.
You're nice. When you said age is nothing but number and is in the mind, I thought to myself that, well, it's not a problem if you look as nice as Bukky Wright does. I mean, age is not a number, but everything about the rest is sunny. Every age is a number. Okay, I mean, when the tie comes loose, we've come to the end of the interview. Thank you for doing this. I've never said this to a guest before, but I could keep looking at you. There's a Wasiu song. Wasiu said, "Tomati re photo me, ko shami." I just want to take a picture of you and hang it somewhere. I just keep looking at you.
Okay.
Speaking of which, you went to pay K1 the ultimate condolence visit
Yes.
on the passing of his mother. I saw you going to commiserate with him. And as I'm watching that thing on Instagram and seeing, I'm like, be coming to America. We haven't had you. Not this one, you're in Ijebu going to visit somebody. But
I'm here.
You're quite the world citizen now. Then you're going back in a couple of days.
Yeah.
Again, and you're going back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's
that's what America will do for you.
That's what America will do for you. So, final word, is it that if you can go for it, go for it?
Yes. If you, it's not just if you can go for it. If you have what it takes to go for it, go for it.
I'm sure it's not that if you can, you should go for it if you have what it takes to go for it. You should go for it. Don't think if you don't have what it takes, stay on your level. Mm-hmm. But if you have what it takes, even though it will take some sacrifice on your part, because it will take sacrifice.
Absolutely.
On your part. You can't. It's exactly what you said. America forces you out of your comfort zone.
Absolutely.
So if you're used to your comfort in Nigeria and all of that, look, you need to get over that.
Mm-hmm.
So the message here is, look, while there is time, go for it. There are advantages. You come out on the other end.
Yeah.
On the other end, you become Bukky Wright again, who's going back and forth, being flown from Nigeria to the United States just to cut cake. I'm annoyed. Please come and be going. Just to cut cake. Thank you very much for coming.
You're most welcome. It's my pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you. You look lovely. Is brown your favorite color?
No.
You just... Wow. Anyway. Am I... Sorry. Bye. You see, the thing about life is that sometimes you just seem completely lost. You have no idea where you're coming from. You have no idea how far you've come. You have no idea where you're going. You're conflicted. You're just completely disoriented. As I like to say, or as King Sunny Ade said in the famous record, Eshu biri biri kebo mi o, biwaju loloko iwa mi lo, beyin loloko iwa mi lo, mi o mo, ye o, mi o mo. Which just means that, look, I've come to a point in life where I have no idea whether my life is progressing or regressing. I'm disoriented. I have no idea how far I've come or how far I need to go. And as I've shared in perhaps this interview or other interviews, I did go through that, for a couple of years, not too long ago. I just completely disoriented. I had no idea where I was. I have discovered from my experience and from research and the experience of others that this is a necessary part of life and growth. If you're going to achieve those dreams that you see, those aspirations and those desires, in short, if you're going to become what your potential portends, then you will go through those seasons. Yeah, let me try to describe it. Most of us, if not all of us, use the GPS maps these days to find our way around town, right? You will notice that sometimes when you miss a turn or when you miss your way or you take the wrong exit, that map will start to recalculate itself on your phone. There's a word that the map uses. It says it's rerouting or something. It starts to rejig itself, and then you will see the thing spinning around as it tries to recalculate the route, right? For those minutes, if you're on a highway, for example, you have no idea where you are. Sometimes I've driven for what seems to be miles without being able to consult the map because there was no service. That's exactly how it is when we're going through those moments in life. It is often that we've taken a wrong turn. And don't blame yourself. We're not perfect. We will make wrong turns. We will make mistakes. We will take the wrong turns. So when we take the wrong exits or we make the wrong decisions, in quote, life tries to reroute us. The universe tries to recalibrate and recalculate us and get us back on the right route. It is during those moments that it seems we're completely out of it. We have no idea where we are. Now, what most people will do in life that they don't usually do when they're driving is that they will stop. They will almost park, or they will literally park at the side of the road, with the analogy that we're using. So imagine you're driving and the map starts to recalculate itself and recalibrate, but there's no service. Would you park by the side of the road to wait for the map to finish doing its thing? No, you will keep driving because you are aware of the fact that it's doing that probably or possibly because there's no service in that area or because the service is weak. You are sure that no matter how long you keep driving, eventually service will return to your map and you'll be rerouted. Exactly. That's how it is when we feel conflicted and disoriented on our journey with our careers and with our lives. Instead of just stopping and doing nothing and wallowing in the pity and pain, just keep on going. So that means just keep on doing whatever it is you're doing. Look, eventually service will return figuratively to your map and you will find your way back to base. Eventually you will find yourself if you don't give up. I know it sounds like a cliche. Don't give up, don't give up. Look, sometimes you need to give up. Yeah. But usually when you are at the point where you're disoriented and you're conflicted, just calm down and keep going. Eventually, the universe will reach out for you again. Or let me say it in a more practical way. Eventually, you will feel a connection again to your sense of purpose and, if you like, your sense of destiny. All right, thank you very much for watching. I'd like to say thank you to all the people who support us. I'd like to say thank you to Dr. Damola Oshideko, without whom this would not have been possible. We'll see you on the next one.